You ever have that sinking feeling in your gut when something doesn't sit right, but you can't fully explain why? That's exactly how I felt when my girlfriend, Claire, told me she was planning a week-long trip to Spain, with her male best friend, Adam. Now, to be clear, I've never been the jealous type. Claire and I had been together for nearly 3 years. We'd built a rhythm, shared an apartment, even talked vaguely about the future. But when she dropped the news, it hit me in a way I couldn't shake. "Wait," I said, pausing halfway through folding laundry. "You and Adam? Just the two of you?" She nodded like it was the most normal thing in the world. "Yeah. He found cheap tickets. We've both always wanted to see Barcelona. It'll be fun." "Fun," I repeated, my voice sharper than I intended. "Claire, do you think that's, I don't know, crossing a line?" She rolled her eyes. "Oh, come on, don't start. He's my best friend. You know that." Yeah, I knew. Adam had been in her life long before I came into the picture. They had inside jokes, shared playlists, a history that went back to high school. But knowing didn't make the thought of them sharing hotel rooms, or even just wandering around a foreign city together, any easier to swallow. I took a breath, trying to keep calm. "Look, I'm not saying you can't have friends. But traveling internationally, just the two of you, that feels different. I'm not comfortable with it." Her lips parted slightly, as if she hadn't expected pushback. For a moment, she just stared at me. Then she let out a short, humorless laugh. "Wow. I can't believe you're actually serious." "I am serious," I said firmly. "If the roles were reversed, and I told you I was flying off to another country with a female best friend, would you honestly be okay with that?" That shut her up for a beat. She shifted, her expression hardening. "This isn't about some hypothetical. This is about you trying to control me." My chest tightened. "No, it's about respect. I don't think I'm asking for anything unreasonable." Claire folded her arms across her chest. And then, without hesitation, she said the one sentence that would change everything between us. "Maybe if you trusted me more, I wouldn't need Adam in the first place." Her words hit me like a sucker punch. Wouldn't need Adam in the first place? I just stood there, holding a crumpled t-shirt in my hands, completely blindsided. What the hell is that supposed to mean? I asked slowly, trying to steady my voice. Claire tilted her head, her tone suddenly colder. "It means you're suffocating me. You always want to know where I'm going, who I'm with. You act like Adam's some kind of threat when he's the only one who's never judged me." I felt my jaw tighten. "Claire, I don't track your every move. I don't tell you who you can hang out with. But this isn't just grabbing coffee with him. This is a trip. A vacation. That's different, and you know it." She sighed dramatically, like I was the one being unreasonable. "You don't get it. Adam understands me in ways you never will. He listens. He supports me." "He doesn't." She stopped abruptly, biting her lip as if she'd said too much. "Doesn't what?" I pressed, my voice sharper now. "Doesn't make me feel guilty for wanting freedom," she snapped. That stung. Freedom. Was that what she thought our relationship was? Some kind of cage she had to escape from? For a few moments, the only sound in the room was the faint hum of the dryer. My mind was spinning. I wanted to argue, to lay out every logical point about why this was inappropriate, but something deeper was gnawing at me now. "You know what this sounds like, Claire?" I said finally, my voice low. "It sounds like you already made your choice. You want Adam to be more than just a friend." Her face flickered, just for a second, but it was enough. Enough to confirm the fear I hadn't dared to say out loud until now. Claire crossed her arms tighter, avoiding my gaze. "You're being paranoid." But her tone didn't sound defensive. It sounded guilty. I set the shirt down on the counter, my hands trembling slightly. "Then tell me straight. Is there something going on between you and him?" Claire hesitated. Too long. Way too long. And then she whispered, barely audible, "Not yet." Those two words, "not yet," rang in my ears like a fire alarm. I couldn't believe she'd actually said them out loud. I blinked at her, half convinced I'd misheard. "Not yet. Claire, what the hell does that mean?" She flinched but didn't back down. "It means, we haven't crossed any lines. But I'm not going to lie to you and say I haven't thought about it." I felt my stomach drop. My girlfriend, the woman I had trusted with my whole heart, was standing in front of me, admitting she had considered being with her best friend. "You've thought about it," I repeated slowly, as if saying it again would make it less insane. Claire's eyes were glassy now, but her voice carried a strange edge of defiance. "Adam has always been there for me. Through everything. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like if I had chosen him instead of you." It was like being stabbed, but I forced myself to keep looking at her. "So, all this time, were you just waiting for an opportunity?" "No," she shot back quickly. "I love you. But I can't pretend I don't feel something when I'm around him. I didn't plan this. It just happened." Her words were a blur in my ears, like she was speaking underwater. The world tilted under me. 3 years together, countless memories, and suddenly I was nothing more than a placeholder while she daydreamed about her friend. "Claire," I said, my voice cracking despite my best effort to stay calm. "Do you even hear yourself right now? You're telling me you want to take a vacation with the guy you admit you have feelings for. How am I supposed to respect that? How am I supposed to respect us?" Tears slipped down her cheek, but she didn't move toward me. She didn't reach out. She didn't even deny it anymore. And that silence, her silence, was louder than any confession she could have made. For the first time, I wondered if this relationship was already over, and I was just the last one to find out. I paced the living room, running my hands through my hair, trying to keep myself from exploding. My chest felt tight, like I'd swallowed a fist. "You realize," I said, turning to her, "that you've basically admitted you're emotionally cheating on me." Claire wiped her eyes, but her chin lifted stubbornly. "That's not fair. I haven't done anything physical with Adam. I've been honest with you." "Honest?" I barked out a bitter laugh. "Claire, telling me you might cheat on me isn't honesty, it's a warning shot. You're dangling it in front of me like I should just accept it." Her face twisted with frustration. "I'm not dangling anything. I don't want to keep pretending. I needed you to know where my head is." My voice dropped, low and raw. "And where is your head, Claire? Because it sure as hell doesn't seem to be with me anymore." She winced but didn't deny it. That hurt worse than if she'd screamed back. Silence fell between us. Heavy, suffocating silence. I watched her stand there, arms crossed, eyes red, mouth trembling, and I couldn't recognize the woman I thought I knew. Finally, I asked the question that had been burning in me since this conversation started. "If you get on that plane with him, what does that mean for us?" Claire's eyes darted to the floor, then back up to me. And when she finally answered, her voice was so quiet I almost missed it. "It means, we're probably over." My knees nearly buckled. She didn't even try to soften it. No, we'll figure it out. No, you're overthinking. Just a flat-out over. For 3 years, I had loved her, trusted her, built a future in my head with her. And now, with 6 words, she had dismantled it like it was nothing more than a house of cards. And the worst part? She didn't look nearly as devastated as I felt. I sank onto the couch, my hands shaking, my heartbeat pounding in my ears. So that's it, I muttered. 3 years down the drain because you can't figure out what you want? Claire hovered by the doorway, arms wrapped tightly around herself. She looked small, fragile even, but her words were sharp. Don't make it sound so simple. You think I want to feel this way. I've tried to bury it, to ignore it. But the truth is, I feel alive around Adam in ways I don't with you anymore. Her voice cracked on the last word, but I barely heard it. I was too busy trying not to collapse under the weight of her confession. So what am I, Claire? I whispered. Just the guy who pays rent and keeps the fridge stocked while you figure out who makes your heart race? Her lips trembled. No, you're stable. Safe. You've always been good to me. Stable. Safe. The words landed like insults. I wasn't her partner anymore. I was her insurance policy, the safety net she clung to while chasing a thrill with someone else. A bitter laugh escaped me. Wow. Good to know I'm basically the human equivalent of a seatbelt. Necessary, but not exciting. She flinched but didn't argue. That silence was the answer I never wanted. I stood up, finally meeting her eyes. You need to decide, Claire. Because I'm not going to sit here while you plan a romantic getaway with another man. Either you cancel this trip, or we're done. No middle ground. Her breathing quickened, and for a moment I thought she might cave. That she'd realize what was at stake. But then her jaw set, and I saw it. The decision in her eyes before she even opened her mouth. I'm going, she said firmly. With or without your approval. It felt like a knife twisting in my chest. Her words echoed in the room like a gunshot. I'm going. With or without your approval. I stared at her, stunned. So you'd rather throw away everything we've built, for a vacation with him? Claire's eyes glistened, but her tone was ice. This isn't about a vacation. This is about me finally doing what I want, instead of what keeps you comfortable. I shook my head, trying to process. No, Claire. This is about respect. Respect for me. Respect for us. And you've just made it clear I don't matter as much as he does. She opened her mouth to argue, but I held up my hand. Don't. Just don't. Because if you cared about me, about us, you wouldn't even be considering this. Her silence was louder than any argument. She just stood there, clutching her phone like she was waiting for it to save her from this conversation. Finally, I asked, does he know how you feel about him? Claire blinked, caught off guard. That's none of your business. My chest burned. The hell it isn't. I'm your boyfriend, Claire. If you've already crossed the line emotionally, I deserve to know if he's in on it. She hesitated, and then she whispered, We've talked about it, once. My stomach twisted. Talked about it. How far did that conversation go? Her lips quivered, but her eyes darted away. He said he wondered what it would have been like if he and I had dated. And I didn't shut it down. My vision blurred for a moment, a mix of fury and heartbreak crashing over me. You didn't shut it down, I repeated, each word dripping with disbelief. And just like that, the foundation of everything we'd built cracked wide open. I felt like the floor had disappeared under me. So let me get this straight, I said slowly, every word shaking with anger. You told me nothing was happening, but you and Adam already had a conversation about what it would be like if you were together? Claire's face flushed, and she gripped the back of a chair like she needed it to stay upright. It wasn't like that. We didn't plan anything. It was just one of those late-night conversations that got too real. Too real. I snapped. Claire, you basically admitted to fantasizing about a life with him while you're still in a relationship with me. Her eyes brimmed with tears, but her voice rose in frustration. What was I supposed to do? Pretend I didn't feel it? Pretend that nothing's missing between us? I stared at her, speechless. 3 years of loyalty, of love, of believing we were a team, and she was telling me she'd been daydreaming about someone else. Claire, I said, my voice cracking. Why didn't you just end things with me, if you felt this way? Her answer came like a slap. Because I wasn't ready to lose the stability. You're the safe choice. Adam is the risk. Safe choice. The words cut deeper than any confession of cheating could have. I wasn't her partner, I was her backup plan. I let out a hollow laugh. So what, you keep me around for rent and reliability, while you test drive your feelings for him in Barcelona? She flinched, tears spilling down her cheeks now. That's not fair. No, Claire, I said, stepping back, my chest heaving. What's not fair is wasting 3 years of my life while you figure out if your best friend gives you butterflies. For the first time, she looked like she might break. Her lips trembled as she whispered, I never wanted to hurt you. But all I could think was, it was far too late for that. I stood there, staring at the woman I thought I knew, and all I saw was a stranger. The apartment felt smaller, the air heavier, as if the walls themselves were pressing in. 3 years, I muttered, my voice raw. 3 years I gave you everything I had. And you call me the safe choice. The backup plan. Do you have any idea how humiliating that is? Claire's tears streamed freely now, but her words were barely above a whisper. I'm sorry. I didn't know how to tell you. You didn't know how to tell me. I repeated, my laugh hollow. Claire, you told me tonight like it was an afterthought, right before booking flights with another man. That's not honesty. That's betrayal. Her face crumpled. So what are you saying? I looked around our apartment, the framed photos on the wall, the throw blanket she'd insisted on buying, the little trinkets from trips we'd taken together. They all felt like lies now, props in a play I hadn't realized I was in. I'm saying it's over, I said finally. The words left my mouth like broken glass. Claire gasped softly, as if she hadn't thought I'd actually say it. You don't mean that. But I did. I meant every syllable. Pack your bags, Claire. Because if you're going to Spain, you're not coming back here after. She pressed a hand to her mouth, sobbing now, but I didn't move toward her. I couldn't. Something inside me had snapped, and I knew nothing would ever fix it. For the first time in years, I chose myself. And in that moment, as painful as it was, I realized I'd rather be alone than someone's second choice. Claire didn't say anything at first. She just stood there, trembling, as if the weight of my words finally sank in. The silence between us was so thick I could hear the clock ticking in the kitchen. Finally, she whispered, So that's it? You're just throwing us away. I shook my head slowly. No, Claire. You did that the moment you admitted you'd rather chase butterflies with him than build something real with me. Her shoulders shook, and she let out a sob that might have broken me any other day. But tonight, it didn't. Tonight, I saw things clearly for the first time. You know what hurts the most? I said quietly. Not that you have feelings for him. Not even that you lied by omission. It's that you were willing to let me keep investing in us, all while you were half out the door. That's cruel. She covered her face with her hands, but I didn't move to comfort her. That instinct was gone now, smothered under the truth. I walked to the bedroom, pulled out a small suitcase, and started packing my essentials. Claire rushed in after me, panicked. Wait, what are you doing? She asked, her voice breaking. I'm leaving tonight, I said without looking at her. This is your apartment now. Mine, too, technically, but I'll figure it out. I don't care anymore. She grabbed my wrist, desperate. Please, don't do this. Don't just walk away. I pulled free, my chest burning. I already stayed too long. Her sobs echoed down the hall as I zipped the suitcase shut. I paused at the doorway, looking at her one last time. She was crumpled on the couch, clutching a pillow like it might hold her together. Goodbye, Claire, I said softly. And then I walked out, the door clicking shut behind me, cutting off the life we'd built together in one final sound. The night air hit me like a wave as I stepped outside, suitcase rolling behind me. Every step down the apartment stairwell felt both heavier and lighter at the same time, heavy with grief, lighter with finality. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't care. All I knew was that I couldn't stay in a home that had turned into a graveyard for trust. I checked into a cheap motel on the edge of town. The room smelled faintly of bleach and cigarette smoke, the sheets were thin, and the neon sign outside flickered all night. But for the first time in weeks, I slept. Not well, but without lies pressing down on my chest. Over the next few days, Claire called and texted. At first, it was pleading. Please, let's talk. I'll cancel the trip. Then it turned bitter. You're overreacting. Adam and I are just friends. Finally, silence. And in that silence, I found clarity. I realized something I should have known all along. Love without respect is just dependency dressed up in prettier words. Claire didn't respect me enough to set boundaries. She didn't value us enough to protect what we had. And that meant whatever we had was already broken. One night, sitting on the motel bed with the TV buzzing faintly in the background, I thought about the future. About rebuilding. About choosing someone someday who wouldn't treat me as the safe option, but as the only option. And for the first time since this all began, I felt a strange kind of peace. Painful, yes. Lonely, absolutely. But peaceful. Because I'd chosen to walk away instead of begging to stay where I wasn't truly wanted. If there's one thing I learned, it's this. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do isn't fighting for someone to stay. It's knowing when to finally let them go.